Welcome back, viewers. We come to you from the Gyanvapi Mosque. Right behind that is the Kashi Vishwanath temple. And this is the biggest flashpoint which has erupted after practically 2 decades in Varanasi. There was a petition earlier which went on to suggest that there is a temple, the Kashi Vishwanath temple, the remains of the temple underneath the Gyanvapi Mosque. And that was all the way back in 1991. Decades later, it's once again been petitioned right now in a sessions court. We are counting down, viewers, to the sessions court on the Gyanvapi Mosque. The judgment was reserved. We are looking at 2 big developments. Number 1, will videography will finally be allowed inside the Gyanvapi Mosque? The new date of that might be announced, or will it not be allowed? Number 2, the administration of the Gyanvapi Mosque had said that they were not happy with the commissioner of the ASI who was conducting the videography, that he was biased. Will he be removed or will he be retained? Those 2 developments, and that's the latest news break that we are coming into right now. We are looking, viewers, Pan Uttar Pradesh, 3 mega monument Wapsi battles which are running concurrently in court. A court will hear the Gyanvapi case, which is likely at 1 p.m. The High Court will hear on the Allahabad High Court, will hear on the locked Taj Mahal rooms at 2 p.m. That's a petition that's been put forth by a BJP leader saying that open out the 22 doors of the Taj Mahal because he suspects there are Hindu idols behind them. Number 3, the other flashpoint is Mathura. There is a plea on the Krishna Janma Bhoomi today as well. 3 flashpoints coming on all across the state of Uttar Pradesh: Kashi, Banaras, Varanasi, where I am standing right now at the Gyanvapi Mosque. On the other hand, Kashi, Mathura, the Krishna temple there. And I want to cut across immediately to my colleague Aishwarya, who's joining us on the hearing over the Taj Mahal 22 rooms. Aishwarya, that hearing coming up at 2 p.m. Not the first time that there has been a petition suspecting that the Taj Mahal is in fact Tejo Mahalya. Talk us through what can we expect. What does the petition want?
Well, they want all the 22 rooms to be opened up. And let me tell you what the locals here claim. Most of the organizations are now claiming that once you open the doors, you will find a Lord Shiva temple. In fact, most of the people have gone ahead and said that what you see behind me is not Taj Mahal, has always been Tejo Mahalya. They're also saying that this is not a monument of love. This, in fact, historically used to be a Lord Shiva temple. And this is what the petitioners want. In fact, Preeti, let me tell you one very interesting twist which has taken place. BJP MP Diya Kumari, who's from the royal family of Jaipur, has claimed that this land, this Taj Mahal, the land where it has been built, belongs to her family, belongs to the royal family of Jaipur. And it was Shah Jahan who forcefully took the land from her family many generations back. So we are seeing a lot of controversies with regard to the Taj Mahal. The hearing begins at 2 p.m. The locals here are very confident that the court will give a verdict in their favor. And once they do, they claim, once the doors are opened and once the digging actually starts at the site, the people will find that this indeed used to be a Lord Shiva temple. Preeti.
All right. Well, you know, what has been the government stand till now? Officially, number 1, viewers, in 1998, the ASI has said on record that after the initial survey by the ASI, that this is in fact a mausoleum, it's a tomb, it was not a Taj Mahal, it was not Tejo Mahalya, and that was a figment of imagination. That was what was said by the ASI in 1998. Ever since then, the Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Parliament on a question of Tejo Mahalya said that there is no fact to suggest it whether or not it was a temple, or there are Hindu artifacts which are related to Hindu faith inside the Taj Mahal. But having said that, there have been multiple petitions. Another one coming in right now. The Allahabad High Court will be hearing it. We'd hear what the Allahabad High Court says at about 2 p.m. But I want to quickly cut across right now to a battery of reporters and editors who are going to break down every development as it takes place right here in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Three big flashpoints coming in, viewers. Agra, where Aishwarya is, the Gyanvapi Mosque, where my colleague Samarth and Samarth is at the Sessions Court. I'm right now at the Gyanvapi Monument. Our senior executive editor, Gaurav Sawant, who's going to be talking us through these developments, he's joining us from the studio. Nabila, my colleague, is also inside the studio right now. Nabila, a lot also being said where the local clerics, because there's a lot of surround sound, whether it's the right wing or the local Muslim clerics, a lot being said which is unwarranted.
Right, Preeti, from what we see here, we're looking at fears erupting from what happened with the Babri Masjid. And it is a point of resistance for the Muslim community, as we see largely that they do not want another mosque to have the same faith as what they saw of Babri Masjid, which is why we extensively see that kind of resistance when it comes to videography. No place of worship when it comes to mosques, particularly across India, where the committee of the mosque allows for any kind of videography. No pictures allowed, no videography allowed, whether they're trying to hide something or they're just following rules, a blanket rule that's been put by the Waqf board not to allow any kind of videography. That, of course, the court will decide, because now we're looking at the Hindu groups asking for the truth to be revealed. If there is really nothing to hide, then a survey should be allowed. If resistance is met with, then, of course, the court is the only place where they can intervene and ask for videography to be allowed, at least temporarily, only so that they actually manage to find out if at all relics of Hindu religion are actually in place within those mosques. But the question here is, Preeti, the community members particularly asking, where does the buck really stop? If we are looking at places of worship to be reclaimed, you have Hindu groups demanding a Gyanvapi Mosque. This will continue. You have Taj Mahal also now being asked to open up doors of 22 closed doors that leads to the chambers down. There are several other places of worship across India where we're looking at mosques aligned with temples. This could be an effect that would eventually hurt sentiments at large. And that's the question that the Muslim community is asking. Will this stop, or will this eventually continue to poke sentiments of the minority?
All right, Nabila, we're going to come right back to you, because ultimately, no matter what either sides of the community benches say or they declare, the dispute will only be settled. And right now, the Gyanvapi Mosque is under dispute in terms of a petition, will only be settled in the purview of the law and not on the basis of faith or surround sound. A Sessions Court has entertained the plea. I'll hark our viewers back on what the plea is about. 5 women, and I'll bring in our senior executive editor to quickly apprise our viewers on what exactly is the plea of these 5 women petitioners, why they want access inside the Gyanvapi Mosque. Gaurav, over to you, then we cut into a break.
So, Preeti, the 5 petitioners want unhindered access to pray at the Shringar Gauri Sthal. They've also contended that, there is a idol of Lord Hanuman there is an idol of Ganeshji there is Nandi, the bull, the ride of Lord Shiva. They want to pray as their ancestors have historically. Their contention is it has to be unhindered. So far, it's permitted on some days, not permitted on others. Which, of course, then led to the issue of videography and, of course, the contention that always has been, as you and I have reported extensively from Kashi earlier, that, the temple was demolished and a mosque created on top of a temple, a symbol, as some argue, of oppression. And should those symbols of oppression remain in today's day and age, or should there be truth and reconciliation? So then it remains for the court to take a call on what should the next course of action be, or whether something like this can be also settled amicably with all parties coming together, all stakeholders coming together and moving forward. And especially when the conversation was about Ayodhya, Kashi and Mathura. So can there be, again, cradles of faith, of belief, Ayodhya, the birthplace of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram, Mathura, the birthplace of Yogeshwar Sri Krishna, and of course the Kashi Vishwanath temple, as you very rightly pointed out, not just one of the 12 Jyotirlings, but one of the most auspicious sites of, Rameshwar, Bhagwan Shiv and Mata Parvati. So it remains to be seen what the next course of action is and whether there can be an amicable, movement forward. Does it lead to more confrontation or does it lead to an amicable, if every Indian puts his shoulder to the wheel, there could well be an amicable solution. After all, communal harmony is a two-way street, Preeti.
Well, communal harmony is a two-way street, but should one look at an amicable solution or should one look at clearly on the basis of law? Because many who are supporting the claim and the dispute of the Gyanvapi Mosque are actually citing that the Places of Worship Act of 1991 be constitutionally amended by the government. Because, viewers, the Places of Worship Act 1991 says and lays down, and I will quote, all shrines will be preserved as inherited by independent India on the 15th August 1947. However, this was formulated in 1991. It can be contested, but what many suggest will be a huge bend around would be the precedent set by the Ayodhya verdict. Because those who suggest that this will go down the Ayodhya route will also need to look and read the judgment of Ayodhya. The 5-judge bench has clearly stated that this is an anomaly, that Ayodhya was an exception. Legally, constitutionally, there is no place for any other dispute. All of that right now being contested under the purview of law. Trust India today to get you all sides of that story. Nabila, Gaurav Sawant, Samarth Srivastav, Aishwarya and I getting you the latest. A quick break. We file out right now into a quick break.